right, welcome back, everyone. Good morning. How we doing? Welcome back to another stream, another day, Wednesday. Big day, CPI. Big day, CPI. Good morning, everyone. Margin, 3D, Britt, Chef, Ponzi, Larry, Sniper, Robert, Dirty, Ernesto, Kavi, G, JP, CJ, Ashish, David. Morning, everyone. Welcome back. How you doing? Doing good, doing good. Morning, Terry. Morning, East. Morning, Ranger. Morning, guys. Levels are very nice yesterday. I think a lot of our expectations, a lot of our reads yesterday played out pretty perfectly. The 585 failure, very, very clean. Fortunately, I did not catch that move, which was a little upsetting, but quite nice. Very clean. Morning, guys. If you guys caught that, anyone catch that 585 failure early morning? Morning, Bruce, Robert, Carlos, Kevin, Ranger. Smash the like button. Naples was named #1 city to live in. I mean, I could understand why. When did that come out? That recent? Naples, Florida was ranked the best place to live in the United States. Wow. Holy shit. I mean, man, can't really beat it. I'm going to be honest with you. I have not found a place that I enjoy more living for just overall everyday life. You know, it's definitely not the most fun place to live. It's not like there's, crazy shit going on, but it is definitely a very peaceful and very beautiful environment. And then you just, that's what I like to live in, that kind of place. And then if I want to, get a little crazy or do something fun, I'll go visit somewhere. That's yeah, definitely expensive, Steven. I can't imagine it being that much more expensive than living in like a city though. I'd say it's actually probably cheaper. Maybe the housing is on the higher side, but I'd say actually like Miami's probably more expensive to live than Naples. Yeah, I tried Miami. I lived in Miami for a year. It was fun, man, but definitely not a place to live. Not a place to live for me. I'm not really the going out every night and staying up till 4 a.m. and I mean, I was in the city, so I was in Brickell, so I pretty much put myself into a situation of, craziness, but I wanted to feel it out. I wanted to see it, see if I liked it, give it a try. I just didn't really enjoy it, to be honest. It's a good temp, though. Good time. Had some good times, definitely. Some good memories, no doubt. Heading to Naples next week, La Playa Beach Resort. Very nice, Chris. Yeah, La Playa is nice. La Playa is very nice. La Playa is a good time. They have a nice outdoor area on the beach, right on the beach. Really, really nice. Enjoy it, Chris. Yeah, Brickell. Everyone has a lamb. Yeah, everyone's got their either 18% interest Lamborghini Urus or the leased Lamborghini Urus that they can put 2,000 miles on per year, or the rented Lamborghini Urus. Everyone loves to show their Lamborghini. It's like, before we get started, a little story. You having a Lamborghini in Brickell, Miami is probably the worst place in the world to have a Lamborghini. You literally go 2 feet, hit traffic, and then have to stop. 2 feet, traffic, 2 feet, traffic. It's like it makes no sense to even that. As soon as I realized that, I said, now I know exactly that every single person that has a Lamborghini in this city is just a total, just as doesn't actually enjoy the car. They just do it because they do it, right? You need some wide open roads, man. You need some nice roads. And yeah, Miami is not the place to. I was like, I would never buy it. I want a Lamborghini eventually, but I would never buy one in Miami. Never. Not only do you have to sit in traffic all day, but you have to worry about total idiot drivers. I mean, just crazy, crazy driving. So yeah, no, definitely. As soon as I realized that, I said, you know what? Everyone that has a Lamborghini in this city is just a total poser, man. No one's actually a car guy. They're just flexing, right? It was funny. Need some space to gallop. That's right. Need some space to gallop. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Wednesday, CPI, big day. Big day for the markets. Definitely an important day to see if the inflation that we are expecting to be on the rise is rising as much as expected. The month-over-month read is 0.4, which is a higher than normal expectation for the rise of month-over-month CPI. So it's an interesting day, right? Because they've sort of set those expectations high, sort of leaving the door open to expectations coming in lower than expected, right? The expected word. So I'm very interested to see how the markets react to this. Obviously, it's going to say a lot about, you know, what the next few months look like and what the Fed's reaction will be, and definitely should put some kind of reaction on the market. So we shall see. As always, we come into these events with proper risk. If you have any positions on, I hope that it's not, you know, oh my God, I need this to work or I'm going to blow up my account. I do have some risk on the table. I've taken a few shots at some major demands with, you know, a few $1,000s here and there. But nothing that's like, holy shit, you know, this is going to be, it's here or never. I hope that we get some good action so that we can sort of, after this CPI, we can, you know, have some nice trading. And we definitely saw some really nice volatility yesterday. I mean, yesterday provided some of the best straight up and straight down and volatile markets that I've seen in quite some time. So let's see if this volatility stays in. We're going to have to pay attention to the levels, right? And that's it, right? Yesterday was a fantastic example, guys, of, you know, intraday emotions, but just static levels doing their job, right? And that was a really good example there yesterday. So if you look at yesterday's levels, right, this demand zone down here and this supply area up here, right, and it was just a total emotion fest, but the static levels never wavered, right? If you thought about the short side up at supply, if you thought about the long side down at demand, a very nice volatile market to, you know, probably take good advantage of. But the problem is, guys, right, a lot of people have a hard time staying calm and trusting, right, these levels in this sort of environment. It just sort of instills emotion. It instills that you know, fear on the intraday. And I get it, right? But that's our job, right? If we start getting these volatile markets within these channel levels, we're going to have to trust the levels and we're going to have to play them. And we're going to have to try to relax on the intraday, right? The intraday was very roller coaster-like. I mean, it was literally like a roller coaster, right? You have your drops, your right, the grinding higher, like the Shikra, and woo, straight down, right? And then, so, I mean, it was literally a roller coaster yesterday. That's probably the best example. When people say, oh, man, yesterday was a roller coaster, I mean, this is literally a roller coaster. So, a lot of volatility, but levels stay static, and we're going to have to learn to really trust those. So, let's keep going. Let's keep grinding. Let's keep trying to improve. 1% better every day. 1% better every day. So, that's that. I'm not going to pull up the economic calendar. We already know it's CPI 8:30. So then let's just get right into the charts here today. Now, of course, guys, I want to make sure you understand charts here today are to take with a grain of salt, right? technicals can be invalidated on CPI data today, but we can go through what happened yesterday and just sort of talk about the moves that occurred. So yesterday, what did we talk about? We had that PPI data come out at 8:30. We saw the market go up, but what did we point out yesterday before the open? We pointed out that the CPI or the PPI data did move the markets higher, but they did not move the markets higher above 21,200, right? We had that little PPI pop in the pre-market, which was right here, right? We see that PPI upside right here, but that PPI upside never broke key supply, right? So if we get moves on the market and it's not breaking a key level, then it is a meaningless move, and we need to continue to believe that. So we had this 21,200. We had this 21,200 rejection zone on our charts. We had that PPI upside move come in, but we said, right, please be careful of that potential bear or bull trap. You did not break 21,200. You did not break major supply, and that was the exact level, guys, that just kept this market lower yesterday. So very, very clean, right? A pretty clean read there yesterday, just unable to break above that supply. And as long as the NASDAQ is unable to break above, in my opinion, 21,200, this stays on the weak side, right? If we do get CPI to move higher today, then we need to break over 21,200. That's a must break. Without that break, I just really don't feel that confident that you're going to get major upside. I also, right, on the flip side, I don't mind attempting some of these major demand lows, which I'll talk about on a few other markets as well, but we do have to understand that if we do take any of these lows as long opportunities, we do need to understand that we should not expect much until this level breaks, right? We really cannot expect much action until this 21,200 level breaks for upside continuation. Without that break, upside continuation just simply is not there. So 21,200 is still our level. That's still the line in the sand for me. You can see those previous lows very, very clearly here and the previous rejections that have come in over the last few trading days. Without that break and without that hold, I would not expect upside continuation. So that is what we will see if it gets tested today on CPI. On the downside, 20,700 looks to be that major low. 20,700 right here is that major low. That is that Monday low, and that would be the low that you really need to see hold on. If we break under 20,700, then I very, very, very likely expect, or very confidently expect further downside on this NASDAQ futures. If we do break below 20,700 today, I really don't think you're going to stop until the 200 SMA at that point. The 200 SMA is 20,220, 20,250, and I really don't think I'd be surprised to see a drop here from around the 700 to the 200. It's about a 500-point drop. I know that seems like a lot. It's about 2%, but I think if you do break this very clear flat low here, it's going to open the floodgates. There's no doubt about it, right? And if we look at this chart, let's go ahead and zoom out here. You can see right here, 20,700. Here's a major low, 20,700 major low. I really didn't see much support come in until maybe down here around this, right down here around that 250, 200 zone, right? See this low over here, these lows over here. It's right around that 300, 250, right? 300 to 250 down by that 200 SMA. That really is where I think you would drop, right? Pretty aggressively as well. See how you went straight up, straight down, right back to that 20,300, 20,250 zone. That would be my expectation, right? If you get a higher than expected CPI reading today, if you get the market to start to panic a little bit under that 20,700 level, maybe not in one day, but I would say the eventual move would be to retest that 200 SMA below. So that would sort of be a target on the short side down towards that 200 if we do break below that 700 today. That's definitely something that I will be looking for and looking to take advantage of if we get a little break and retest below that 20,700 level. I like that short side. Yeah, I saw that 550 there, Rudy. Where did that 550 come from? I saw that 550. I actually spotted a little bit. It's funny you say that. Where was that 550 at? Yeah, it's like right in here. I see what you're talking about, Rudy. 550. I see that area. we'll have to see, Rudy, right? Because this zone is just sort of, I mean, it's just not really like it sort of just seems like a little channel. So I think we could definitely fall from channel to channel, right? From channel high, channel low. I think you'd probably slip pretty aggressively under there. But yeah, I see that 20,550, maybe something there. We'll have to see how the price action reads intraday. I think the right thing to think about here, Rudy, is just if you do break under 20,700, then it's going to get weak, right? There's no doubt about it. Under this low, it's for sure going to start to look bloody. And I probably would not be very interested in longs back into 700, right? If you're trading under 700 here, whether that's at 550, whether that's at 600, whether that's at 400, right? Wherever that may be, at this point, right? If you're trading under 700, I mean, there's just no reason to even consider a long if you're under 700, right? So whether that holds around 500, 550, 400, it's still just a short on a rejection of 700 on any pop higher, right? So that's just a very key inflection point, 20,700, that I would be paying attention to if we do break those lows today. So that's that. 21,000 is sort of a tough spot that keeps rejecting. It rejected yesterday. It's rejecting right now. And 21,200 above. The one thing I would say is that the 100 SMA is historically a very interesting spot for the markets to hold up. And we'll have to see if it does, right? If we go to this daily chart, we can see on the NASDAQ daily chart some very interesting wick action off the 100 SMA. That is definitely, in terms of technicals, right, a very telling attempt of a hold. It really is, right? Whether CPI was today or not, if CPI wasn't today, then I would be very confident to try to stay long off this 100 SMA. I really would. Obviously, CPI puts a little bit of a monkey wrench in the plan, right, to trust technicals with your full size and your full, confidence. But I would say, right, historically, this 100 SMA is definitely a big buy spot on the markets. And you can see, I mean, there is definitely some bullish signs at this level, right? Some very aggressive wicks pushing this price action back higher right off that 100 SMA. So I would not be surprised to see the markets find some kind of a short-term bottom here if it does come in. That would not surprise me, right? So something to watch there. We'll see if it plays out. QQQ. QQQ right here. It's around this 510, 512 zone that just keeps sort of getting shot down. You can see, guys, right here, this 510, 512 zone. This was our zone from yesterday. You guys remember this yesterday? We talked about that 510, 512 zone. We talked about that pop on CPI, right? The pop on CPI, or on PPI, sorry. We had that pop on PPI, and it literally nailed 510 on the dot, right? Look at that. Just 510 on the dot. That was our exact supply zone. This has not moved at all since yesterday's pre-market. And it was just the perfect 510 failure, right? Absolutely perfect. Supply zone, inability to move higher, and just the fade came in. Beautiful, beautiful setup there on the QQQ. Perfect supply zone. Pop in the PPI, unable to break higher, unable to break higher, unable to break higher, right? And eventually the bulls just say, you know what? I give up. And this thing just fades. Very, very nice, right? Very, very nice. So that 510, 512 zone, again, is going to be your exact zone to watch once again, right? If we see a push into that level, we're going to have to be careful here. 510, 512, 510, 512. This zone right here, no doubt about it, heavy supply above. Please be careful of any longs if we start to approach this zone. To the downside, I'm sort of watching these previous lows over here. I think these are very important. You guys can see right here. These previous lows right here, I think, are very important. This 504 to 506 zone, I think, is the important demand zone to be watching. You can see we're trying to create that low. We're trying to maintain above this general low here on the markets as we speak, right, into CPI. So 504, 506, definitely an attempt of a hold in that zone. 510, 512, major supply. You're in a very tight channel here. And then the 100 SMA is still down at that 498. That's something that you would want to be watching as well, down at 498. ES. So this was the read that I had for you guys last night on the ES. On X. Make sure to follow me on X. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. Follow me on the socials. In my opinion, the risk reward and the technical side of this chart looks like a great long off 5,800, right? It absolutely looks like a great possible long, and long, right? If history does repeat itself, this 5,800, the previous area that buyers really stepped up, and you can see again in the short term, we are definitely getting buyers stepping up at 5,800. Now, we all know, right? We all know CPI and economic data in general is going to, potentially invalidate a look like this, right? So if we weren't heading into some major economic data, I would be very, very much more exposed on the long side than I am right now, right? I really don't have much exposure. I do have longs, but it's not with the type of size that I would typically look for if I'm looking at a perfect potential, sort of triple bottom low here at 5,800 and looking for that sort of reversal trade. I would love to see it, right? It would really line up with the technical read. It would be a nice little, maybe pop back into channel highs over here and then maybe a fade again back towards that 6,000 spot, right? And sort of do this again, right? Maybe and eventually you get something. It would make sense, right? It would make sense. Do I know it's going to happen? No, I don't, because you have some major data about to come out and no one can sort of predict that. But that 5,800 is no doubt the level that we need to watch. I would say this, if you do break 5,800, you are probably going to be in from pretty aggressive downside, right? I really do believe that. Under 5,800, it's really sort of like a backbreaker on the market. That's a fail under the October lows. That's a fail under the September lows. That's a major fail, guys. That is a multi-month low that you would be failing below. That would put all of these buyers underwater, and it would probably, not be a very exciting time for the long-term portfolio, right? Let me say that. So 5,800 on the ES is no doubt a big spot. Yeah, the weekly chart you can see is, I had this on the weekly chart as well. You can see that weekly sort of, potential sort of break and retest that's still potentially setting up. I see that as well, but CPI is going to have to confirm it, right? CPI is going to have to confirm it. We'll see. Obviously, there's more data than just CPI, but we'll have to see. 5,800, very clear level. That's definitely something to watch, guys, moving forward, right? Make sure you have 5,800 on your charts and make sure you understand how big of a level that truly is, because it really is a major one. On the short term, there's some nice holds coming in. The 58.45 was the must-hold level yesterday to potentially set up the inverse head and shoulder read, right? Sort of that bullish inverse head and shoulder read that some of us had. We have that left shoulder, we have that head, we have that right shoulder. We needed to hold those Friday lows, and that really is exactly where the ES held, which is actually quite interesting, right? You can see right here, Friday lows right here at 58.45 turned into rejections, moved us lower to the 5,800. The 5,800 popped us higher, right? Gave us that upside move, and we pulled back yesterday off that major supply right back into that Friday low, right? Look at that. That's your Friday low right here. Here's your yesterday low. Quite nice, right? That is potentially your inverse head and shoulder sort of move. However, that inverse head and shoulder read is meaningless unless you break the neckline. And the neckline is so clear. The neckline is probably the clearest neckline of an inverse head and shoulder that you can ever see here. I mean, look at this right here. 59.25, 59.30. You have probably the cleanest level on the market right now that you need to see it get above, right? That is just abundantly clear. The ES has to get back above this 100 SMA. The ES has to get back above this 59.30 zone. We have to get back above these lows. We have to get back above these lows. If we do not, right, and we fail here again, that keeps the door open to the downside, right? And that's exactly what we talked about yesterday in the live stream. We said, okay, PPI pushed higher, but guess what? PPI push higher did not break the 59.30, did not break the 100 SMA. That keeps the door open to the bull trap, and that is exactly what you got yesterday. You got the morning bull trap straight back down off that supply right there. So today, what are we going to get, right? Are we going to get that push through 59.30? Are we going to reclaim the 100 SMA here? Or are we going to see the failure once again of this supply? That is so important right now. In about 5 minutes, we're about to see it. 100 SMA, right? And if we can turn this back into support, I truly believe that you can see a squeeze type move on this market, right? This would put all of these shorts underwater. This would be a squeeze, likely back above the 100 SMA. I would say that probably pushes towards 6,000 again on the ES, right? Right there to 6,000 would be my target. That 6,000 would also be right around that downtrend that we talked about, a few minutes ago, right? It would also sort of match up with that downtrend right around there, which actually, guess what, could be another fade, right? So we do need to be careful of that as well, all right? So 59.25, 59.30, 100 SMA, 6,000 above, and that 5,800 is really the major low below. SPY, 585. Who remembers 585? You better remember 585. And we were yelling and screaming 585 yesterday, and absolutely perfect, right? Absolutely perfect. Yesterday, I gave back some profits on Tesla. I was down a little bit of money. I was red on the day, right? It was a red day. Now, do I care about a red day after 11 years of trading? No, I don't. I don't care about red days. It's part of trading. Once you can understand that, and once you start to get a general respect for, hey, I'm never going to be right every day, then it means nothing. Now, what was hurtful yesterday, what really sort of made me sit here and be like, God damn it, right, was the fact of how beautiful that rejection was and that I didn't take advantage of it. That was exactly what we were talking about. And this just goes back to, hey, sometimes you can really read something correctly, but did you execute on it, right? And so yesterday just didn't really execute on that 585 failure. And man, oh man, was that a beautiful one, right? Previous lows, previous lows, previous lows, previous highs, 585. That was our PPI concern. We got our PPI move yesterday morning. We said, hold up, right? Red alert. 585 still there. It could reject, and just bam, beautiful, gorgeous. So really nice there yesterday. 585 failures, perfect stuff. If you caught it there yesterday, guys, well done, right? That's just a beautiful trade. If you executed on that game plan and you faded that 585 yesterday, you were spot on. That's a perfect trade, and congratulations to you. You should be happy about that one. Now, where did the SPY move lower into? That's another big thing to pay attention to. The SPY, when it moved lower into this low, right? Remember this low? And that low was also the low from last Friday, which is really quite interesting, right? You can see right here, this low from last Friday is 587.50. I'm sorry, 578.50. Little dyslexic there. 578.50 was Friday's lows. And look at this low that stepped up yesterday, right? Even in the heat of just insane emotion and insane downside pressure, right, and just sort of squeezing straight down, that level still held, right? And so that is quite interesting that level really got defended like that. You can see Friday's lows defending their head, right, still keeping that inverse head and shoulder idea alive. We'll see if it plays out, right? I'm not sure if it will, because obviously CPI has the last say here. But I would definitely be paying attention to this zone below, 578.50 to 580, the 100 SMA as well, right? Of course, and then that 574 major pivot, and of course the 585 is your major spot, right? 585, no doubt. You get above 585, I think you squeeze towards 591. That would be my target up there. All right, so we got 1 minute. 1 minute here, guys. So we're CPI. Let's go ahead and keep the ES up on the charts. If you guys could, press that like button before CPI comes out. We got 3,500 people here. It looks like the stream's running really well. So that Ethernet, plugging that Ethernet in, man, was quite a game changer here on the stream. So come on in. Flood in the watchers. I can handle it now. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here we go. 20 seconds before CPI. Let's see what the read is. And let's see how the market reacts to it. Four, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Initial pop. What's the read? What's the read? Oh, baby. Technical's working. As of now, it's just technical's working, right? What's the read? Who can get it for me? There it is. Hamish. Hamish, shout out Hamish. Wow, we're going up like this on an inline. Ooh. I don't know if I like that. We're going up like this on an inline expectation. Inline with expectation. That's... I mean, I'll take it because I'm long, but I would have wanted to see us lower than expectations. All right, to really feel like this could be something. Are we rejecting 20,200? Careful here. All right. Oh, spooky. All right. Oh, this is spooky. All right. If this holds up in the open, I think I'll be taking profits in open. I think that's my name. I think I've already decided that. If we hold up in the open, I think it's profit taking. I think that's the right call. Careful here. Red alert. That's right. That's right, bro. Red alert. I mean, SPY's pumping. I mean, we're going to go to our target. It looks like 591. ES, you need it to hold back over this 100 SMA, no doubt. You cannot fail back under that. If you fail back under this 100, this is coming straight back down. QQQ right at 512, right at the 50. That's a tough spot. Let's go ahead and change this for a second to like this. I like changing this like this now. And then putting one of these right here. Actually, I'll do this. Hey, we're pushing pretty well. I'm sort of shocked to see this reaction on the market with the in line with expectations. I know the core was lower, but I'm a little bit shocked. I would have thought we needed like a 0.2 or 0.3 month over month lower than expected to see this type of pump. Let's go ahead and zoom out now, my friends, and look at just absolutely how goddamn beautiful this is, right? I'm sorry, but my God, is that beautiful. I mean, I want to curse really bad, right? I love cursing when I talk about stocks. I don't know what it is, but man, that's fucking beautiful. That just came out naturally. I didn't even have I had no control of that word right there. Absolutely fucking beautiful, right? Look at that. Love it. I love it. I love the stock market. Technicals, man. I mean, we called that pretty nicely. Obviously, we needed to play some risk through CPI, but in terms of technical analysis, just play the technicals, right? I made this video on X yesterday, and I said, if you're going to guess through CPI, right? If you're going to do a guess, if you're going to come into today and guess what happens, why not just guess on the side of technicals, right? Like, why go against technicals if you're still just guessing, right? If the general idea is let me just guess, then at least just guess with technicals, right? At least maybe it's like a 52% chance instead of a 50% chance, right? So if you guessed on the side of technicals, then, pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. Let's see if it holds. Let's not get too excited yet, but let's see if it holds, man. We'll revisit this into the end of the stream. Let's jump into some stocks. Tesla. So I am long Tesla overnight. I added a shitload into this low. Not a shitload, but I guess a shitload to some extent. It depends on your idea of shitload. And looking good right now. I would say Tesla, to really break out here, guys, I would say you need to get over 430, right? That's really where I think you need to get above on Tesla. You need to get above 430, right here. Bam, bam, bam. Without 430 breaking, you are at risk of this zone rejecting, okay? So if you want to look for a really sexy breakout on Tesla, I would wait for 430. That would be the sexy breakout that you'd look for right here. This right here would be your long. Over 430, above these highs, above these highs, above these highs. That would be the long to look for, okay? I would be very careful of longing Tesla into 414.50 and into the daily 20 SMA above. This whole zone is definitely a heavy sell zone, right? Tesla has big zones, guys. That's just how Tesla is. It's never a precise zone level, right? It's more of a zone, right? And so you can see every time that Tesla came into this zone previously, right? Take a look at this zone here. Every time you just sort of sniffed this zone out, it has been a pop and fade, right? And so you need to protect yourself in this entire zone. Anywhere in this zone, you can get Tesla to fade lower, right? And just sort of reject, reject, and reject. And so what you need to see here to really get confident is a hold above this zone. That to me would be 430, okay? Now, I don't mind longing lows. That is definitely what I like to do, right? I am not scared to long lows, right? In which I have been doing, right? Since last week, I have been longing Tesla down at this 380 low. Now, what does longing the low do for me? The longing the low, what it does for me is that if we do come into the sell zone, I don't need to panic, right? I don't need to panic if we get into the sell zone. Why? Because I'm down here, right? My exposure is down here, right? Now, where would I panic if we got into the sell zone? If we got into the sell zone and my entry was in the sell zone, then yeah, I'm panicking, right? I'm like, oh shit, I really don't have a good entry here, and I need to be careful of what could happen here. But if I'm long down at key demand and we do move into the sell zone, then I'm just going to sit back and let it be, right? If I see another rejection, maybe I'll take it off. If not, let it trade, right? Let it be, right? So that is the key and the sort of mental game that I like to play, right? I don't need to be so worried about these rejections because guess what? My exposure's down here. And I have plenty of time to react. If this thing starts to reject, I got plenty of time to react. Maybe I give back some profits, but at least I have a great entry point, right? So that's my opinion on Tesla, guys. I'd say the buy zone's down between the 380s, 360s. I'd say the sell zone's in between the 414, 430. If you get above the 430, then you're going to sort of rock it, in my opinion. Above 430, you're going to start rocking. Nvidia, long this yesterday as well. Another stock I'm exposed to on the long side. Why not? Why am I not longing 130? I'm longing 130 and the 100 SMA on Nvidia all day. You guys know I did that previously. I'm here doing it again. Let's see if it works out again. It looks like it is so far. So we came back into the exact zone that I've been screaming and hollering about longing Nvidia all of December. And guess what? We're here again. And guess what? Instead of being panicked and scared, I'm going to long it again. I did that yesterday. And so far, so good. We'll see how it holds up. But I do like the long exposure down there, right? The way I think about it is let me get exposed to the longs down at key demand, right? Are we starting to fade? Just Nvidia's starting to fade because it's a piece of shit. 133. That's a key level, right? I was sort of longing down at the 130s yesterday. Should be up nicely. Might be something I do take profits on today because I just don't know if I trust Nvidia quite yet as much as the rest of the market. But I do like the 130 zone. I think it's a proper area to at least expose yourself to at least something, guys, right? I don't mind trying to expose yourself to something down here. I can't really hate on that idea, right? If it breaks it, it breaks it. You take your loss. But for now, I'd say you probably try to trust your 128, 130 zone pretty nicely, right? It's a really nice zone that's held very clearly on Nvidia for a long time. But there's still a much bigger job that needs to be done here on Nvidia, and that is you need to get above 137. You have to get above 137. If you don't get above 137, then it's probably just another fading move here, guys, to be quite honest. So we need to clear above a previous supply. We need to do a reclaim, right? This is called a reclaim. We need to reclaim a rejection point, and that would be 137 for me. So until we break 137, this is a long. It's a cautious long. It's not like a big boy swing trade long, but it's a cautious long. and I'd be aware of the 137 supply. Okay. Let's go to Amazon. Oh man, come on, Amazon, please, 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 man, please do it. This looks so good. Now, this is a setup that I have long. Again, I am long Amazon as well. And this is a setup that I just couldn't look past. I can't not take this trade. Not taking this trade would be a total disservice to myself and a total disservice to everyone that listens to me on YouTube, right? It would be just a total idiot, right? Just scared idiot type of mentality. If I don't take this trade, then what I talk to you guys about the break and retest would just all be wrong, right? And I put the money where my mouth is. That's what I do. If you come here, I always put my money where my mouth is. I always take shots. I shoot. I'm a shooter, right? And I'm not scared to lose. But when the strategy shows up, there's something inside me that just makes me take the trade. And I say this meaningfully. I would so much rather lose money than watch a setup work out and me not take that setup because of fear, right? That is something I live by every single day in the stock market. If I see a setup that I absolutely love, and I will always take that trade, and I will always rather lose money, right, taking a setup than being scared to take it, right, and seeing it work out. That is so much more painful to me. It is so much more painful for me to see Amazon squeezing to new highs, right, me not taking it because I'm scared it's going to break a low, right? I will live by that till the day that I die. And maybe that type of mentality is what's got me to where I am, right? Because I'm just taking calculated risks. And so why did I take Amazon, right? Because you are right at the previous all-time high, which held right here and held right here. And guess what? It's also right at the 50 SMA. So you have the 50 SMA, you have 216 previous all-time highs, you have a low, you have a low, you have a low, right? You have a very strong stock sort of coiling lower, right? Doing a little wedge lower, right? Down into that demand. And the breakout potential here is insanely strong, right? If this breakout does work, this is going to be a gorgeous chart, right? Look at this chart. If this really does play out, this is a gorgeous looking chart. And that is something I would absolutely be watching. So keep an eye on this Amazon, guys. 216. Let's see what happens. Google, 194. Got to hold above that today. 194 on Google. Look for that 20 SMA, 194. Meta, watch that 607 supply in the daily 20 SMA as well. Watch Meta, watch Google, both at the daily 20s. AMD, what's it looking like? AMD, got to get above 120. Got to get above 120 on AMD. Remember, guys, TSM earnings are tomorrow. So remember, if you have any longs tomorrow, like I'm definitely going to be taking my Nvidia swing trade off today. I just don't want to hold it through TSM earnings. Maybe I'll take like small chances, right, through that earnings, but majority of profits I'll look to take today. I just don't know if I want to play through that. So TSM 200, watch that, but I don't really expect anything here. Broadcom. Yeah, Broadcom 230, right? 230. That's going to be a very interesting spot here, guys. Keep an eye on that 230 Broadcom. You hold above 230, you hold above this daily 20, you're probably looking at 238 here. So watch that 230 Broadcom. ASML, yeah, ASML has been trying, man. It's trying to wake up. It's just a slow mover, though. I'm going to be honest with you. It's very slow. I would say watch like the 730s area here on ASML, but I don't know if I love this stock, man. It's just too illiquid to me. So, yeah. What else? Netflix. Netflix has been sort of weak. Netflix is still sort of weak here. It needs to get above 850 to me. Netflix over 850. I'm actually going to set my alert. Netflix above 850. I will be watching that. Apple. Apple's an interesting one, right? Why is Apple interesting? Well, it's sort of right at the 100 SMA, right? Look at that. 100 SMA Apple. You do need to get above this 237.50. You do need to get above this 237.50 here. So Apple, for now, you got to get above that 237.50 on Apple. Palantir, Yeah, nice little squeeze here on Palantir. Could be a little small cap day if we get less fear of... Yeah, the small caps look like they might be the outperformer. NASDAQ's pretty strong too. Holy shit. I mean, small caps definitely good, right? Because if we get less fear of higher inflation, higher rates, then IWM would outperform. I would watch 227. 227 on IWM. That would be my watch, and maybe you can get that heat back in those small caps today, right? And so if that's true, then I would watch this 67.50 on Palantir. If Palantir holds over this 67.50, your next target is 72 here. So watch this 67.50. Watch that 50 SMA, right? Look for Palantir to hold back above this rejection high and that 50 SMA. This thing's squeezing. What else? What's SMH look like? Yeah, SMH with a nice little pop. I mean, what did we talk about on the SMH, guys? What did we talk about on the SMH? We talked about this. We said if you want to continue to trade the channel, then it's longs. It's only longs, right? It was never a short. That's what we said. If you want to trade the channel that SMH has been in for about 4 months now, then it is a long, right? It is a long here, and it is a long here. And it is a long into supply and into supply. So what is it doing? It's doing the same exact thing, man. Nothing's changed here. There should be no surprises. Look, bam, every single time. Bam, 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 bam. Why is this any different? Why is this time any different, right? Trust me, bro, it's different this time. Trust me, bro, it's different this time. This is the killer of retail traders. This is the killer of retail traders. Why not just trade what has shown historically? Why try to guess that it's going to be different this time? What in your mind makes you think that you are right? You are the right one, right? You are the chosen one. Why is that in our minds, right? Why not just trade what the market has done previously? And if it doesn't work this time, we take a loss and we move on, right? But man, oh man, would it suck to be shorting the SMH at this low over the last 7 to 8 attempts every single time, thinking that it's going to break down and saying, trust me, bro, it's different this time, right? How about just, hey, trust me, bro, it's going to be the same this time, the same that it's been every other time for the last 4 months, right? How about that? So, right, that's just simply the way I trade, and that is why I am long into today, right? I am long into today. I have very clearly made it known that I am long, and the reason I am long is because that I said, trust me, the market's going to do the same thing it did last time. And if it doesn't, I'll step up and I'll man up and I'll say, man, it didn't work, and I take my loss. But, right, lows, lows, lows. What a beautiful long opportunity this was. What a beautiful long opportunity this was. And guess what? We made this comment yesterday in the live stream, and this is the last comment I'm going to make. Yesterday in the live stream, we made the comment. I don't know if it was in the live stream or in the Discord, but we made the comment and we said, if you want positive risk reward, sometimes you do need to take higher risks, right? If you want to trade a positive risk reward setup, sometimes you need to trade higher risks, right? And I did not say Bitcoin would dump. I mean, just see, I people are so dumb. I made a video about the potential of the Bitcoin downside. I said it's something that could take a very long time and something I would watch. Did I make a video that said Bitcoin is going to dump? No. Do I care? No, because I'm not short Bitcoin, and I'm really long today, and I'm going to be up a lot of money today, right? So do I care what you have to say? Not at all, right? I'm not short Bitcoin, and I'm long the market. So what do I care? Anyways, ES, right? We made a comment that said, if you want to take positive risk reward in this environment, right, in this setup, you will have to trade through CPI. That's the unfortunate fact here. And I am starting to realize, guys, as I learn more on this market, and I'm still learning every day. I'm starting to realize that you at times will need to trade through these catalysts to get this type of move, right? To take advantage of positive risk reward. Because at this point, right, that positive risk reward down at this major low it's simply gone now. Unfortunately, right? It is gone, right? That long down here, it's gone, right? So I would rather long here and be wrong than now long after this squeeze, right? And so that's what I start to think about, and I'm starting to realize that, I'm starting to realize that you're gonna have to take some risks through these catalyst events if we're at major levels, right? That we're at major levels, and that's sort of what just happened today. So that's that. Let's go ahead and do a quick analysis on the ES, guys. Here you go, all right? So I would recommend to any of you out there that have very risky longs on overnight, let's call it like tomorrow or Friday expiration, I would highly recommend taking profits at 6,000 here. This is your next rejection point, right? Right here. 6,000, 6,000, 6,000, 20 SMA. That's going to be a very tough spot here. Very, very, very tough spot. I will definitely be profit taking into this. I think a lot of people will be, and I would be aware of the potential fade off that level. 6,000, 20 SMA ES, no doubt a big spot. SPY, 20 SMA 591, no doubt a big spot. QQQ, 516 right here. 516, 50 SMA, big spot. I would be watching that, okay? And then on the NASDAQ futures, really 21, it's like this 21,400. Yeah, around 21,400. 50 SMA, right? These previous highs, and this 21,560 above. All right? All right. That's about it. Best of luck out there today, guys. Love it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Watch out for those fades, guys. We saw that fade on PPI. Don't expect anything different. Make sure to lock some profits in if you did swing trade through this CPI event. And protect yourself, man. Protect yourself. We're in for some interesting markets ahead. A very interesting opportunity here today for that long side trade off that 5,800 ES. Congratulations to those who took that. And cheers. Cheers to more profits, baby. Here we go. Peace.